There are 4 easy steps for successfully using the Jackson Hole High School Fabrication Lab Roland GX24 vinyl cutter. Step 1. Setting up the machine. Step 2. Creating your artwork. Step 3. Preparing and cutting your artwork. And Step 4. Finishing your artwork. Step 1. Setting up the machine. Turn on the computer and the monitor. Load your media into the machine. If media is already loaded, then release the lever on the back left-hand side of the machine. Remove the existing color and place on the appropriate shelf. Select the color of media you would like to use. Insert the media from the back of the machine into the feed slot. Adjust the pinch rollers to the outside edge of the material while keeping them within the white grid sections of the roller. Make sure your media is aligned with the guidelines. It can be helpful to look at the cutter from above to align the front and back of your media and prevent skew. Once the vinyl is aligned, pull the media load lever forward and the pinch rollers will lock in place. Now you are ready to power on the machine. Press the power button in the lower right-hand corner to turn the machine on. The LCD screen will immediately light up to ask what kind of sheet type you will be working with, a small piece of media or a roll. Use the downward arrow to select either piece or roll. Select the appropriate sheet type and press enter. This will tell the GX24 to measure the cut dimensions of your media. The cutting carriage will move left to right, and the material moves forward and backward as it reads the width and the length of your material. The cut dimensions will then appear in the LCD screen. Check to make sure the correct width and length of your media have been set. Use the arrow keys to position the cut head in the bottom left-hand corner of your media. The left and right arrow keys move the cut head, and the up and down arrow keys adjust the position of your media. Once you have positioned the cut head, press and hold the origin button to set the print origin. Then, press and hold the test button. The machine will make a test cut on your material. Make sure that you are able to remove the outer circle without removing the inner square of the test cut. If the test cut does not cut correctly, locate a lab technician to assist you with adjusting the cutting pressure. If your test cut is correct, you are ready to start creating your artwork. Step 2. Creating your artwork. The Roland GX24 uses the software application Roland CutStudio to create polyline artwork for generating cutting data. In the Jackson Hole High School FabLab, you can create artwork directly in CutStudio, or utilize the software applications Adobe Illustrator or Adobe Photoshop to create artwork that can be imported into CutStudio and converted into polyline data. Adobe Illustrator creates vector artwork that can easily be converted to polyline data. However, note that art created in Illustrator must be saved in an Illustrator 8 format to be imported correctly into Roland CutStudio. Adobe Photoshop does not specifically create vector art that can be converted directly into polylines like Illustrator, but it can be used to prepare either JPEG or bitmap graphics. These types of images can be imported into CutStudio, where polylines can be generated based on your image. This process will be covered in more depth in another video. For this video, we will demonstrate how to create polyline artwork directly in CutStudio. Start by locating the CutStudio icon on the desktop and double-clicking it to open. Once CutStudio has loaded, press New to create a new project. Adjust the settings for the size, the cutting area, of the loaded material by going to the File menu and selecting Cutting Setup. If it is not already selected, choose the Roland GX24 from the Printer drop-down box. Then, click Properties to enter the printer properties and select the Size tab. If you have already loaded media into the printer, like we did in Step 1, select Get from Machine. The cutting area of the loaded media will be obtained from the machine, and the values for the width and the length will be entered automatically. However, note that if you selected Roll as your sheet style, only the value of the width will be obtained. Manually enter a length that will provide you with enough room for the artwork you are planning to cut. Select your preferred unit of measurement. Leave Rotate turned off. You can rotate your artwork on the cutting layout. Click OK, and OK again. The cutting area will now be indicated by the white gridded area on your screen. Finally, go ahead and save your project with a descriptive file name to a project folder that you have created on your Z drive. Artwork in CutStudio can be created in a number of ways. The rectangle and ellipse tools can be used to create rectangles and ellipses. Hold the Shift key down while creating your shape to create perfect squares or perfect circles. The polygon and star tools create 3 to 14-sided polygons or multi-pointed stars. To adjust the properties of a shape, select the shape and click the Properties button. The polyline and curve tools allow you to create artwork by clicking points on your screen to draw a line. When using these tools, be sure to close your line art or your cut will not turn out correctly. To do this, hover over the initial point you created. When you see your cursor turn white, click and your loop will be closed. Or, after your last point, right-click anywhere on the screen and choose Close. You can also create text by using the Text tool. Click in space to create straight text. Or, hover your cursor over a polyline until you see a squiggly. Then, click on the polyline to create text that will follow the curve you have created. To adjust polylines, select the artwork, then select the Edit tool. This allows you to move points, or you can right-click on a point to make a curved polyline, or delete handles to remove curves. Curved polylines can be adjusted by manipulating their Bezier handles. Once you have created your artwork, save your project. You are now ready to prepare your artwork for cutting. Step 3. Preparing and cutting your artwork. With your artwork complete, position it on your cutting surface. Select your artwork and use the Move button to position it to the origin you set on the machine in Step 1. Single-click an object to resize or stretch it. Double-click an object to rotate or skew it. For precise controls, use the Properties menu to set specific dimensions or angles of rotation. If you are cutting multiple instances of the same object, use the Multiple Copy feature to fill your cutting area. When you are satisfied with your cutting layout, save your project. Go to the File menu and select Cutting. Double-check that you have the Roland GX24 selected as your printer, then click OK to begin cutting your artwork. Step 4. Finishing your artwork. Once your artwork has finished being cut, you can remove your media. This can be done by either lowering the media load lever to release the pinch rollers, or by advancing the media roll using the downward arrow button and cutting your artwork from the roll using the X-Acto blade slot on the machine. Lightly squeegee your artwork to ensure adhesion to the backing paper. Use your extraction tools to carefully remove the unwanted material from your artwork. Apply transfer tape to the front of your artwork, being careful not to create creases or bubbles. Squeegee your artwork again to remove any bubbles and creases and ensure adhesion to the transfer tape. Cut off any excess material and your artwork is now ready to be applied to a surface. To apply your artwork to a surface, remove the backing paper. Position your artwork on the surface and lightly press down. Use the squeegee to smooth out the artwork, remove any bubbles, and ensure a strong adherence to the surface. Finally, carefully peel off the transfer tape from your artwork. And you're done. If you have any questions, or if any problems arise that are not covered in this video, locate a Jackson Hole High School Fabrication Lab instructor or technician for support.